In the meantime, 7 appointments in Nigeria's security framework were made by President Bola Tinubu on Monday. One of them, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has stirred more reactions than all others put together. In this report, News Central's Uzonna Ononye highlights the attacks before Mr. Ribadu.
Nuhu Ribadu lost the presidential election in 2011 in Lagos State, even when flying the flag of the Action Congress of Nigeria with 21.96% against PDP's 65.90%. ACN was formed by now President Bola Tinubu. Except in Osun State, the ACN also lost the presidential election in all the states in southwestern Nigeria, despite being the region where President Tinubu, being the leader of the ACN then, had overwhelming control. Though this has remained an unresolved puzzle, many people still believe that President Tinubu and Nuhu Ribadu share deep relationship and trust. If there was any doubt about this, the recent appointment of Nuhu Ribadu as the National Security Advisor by President Tinubu puts all that to rest, or so it seems. By virtue of his role, Malam Ribadu, a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, will lead the nation's security architecture. He is the first non-military officer to be so appointed, and under him are army generals and their contemporaries in the Air Force and Navy. In the meantime, most Nigerians will remember Malam Nuhu Ribadu as that no-nonsense police officer to first head the country's anti-graft agency, the EFCC. Many have not forgotten the ordeal of his former boss, IGP Tafa Balogun, when he was being tried for corruption in 2005. In one occasion, his lawyer, Tunji Abayomi, narrated in court how his client, Mr. Balogun, was kicked out, pushed about, and ruffled and then forced into the car by the EFCC officials who a few months earlier, along with their boss, Mr. Ribadu, answered to Mr. Balogun. Though Nuhu Ribadu himself disagrees, many Nigerians believe he was former President Olusegun Obasanjo's attack dog. Then, any politically exposed person who disagreed with the former president had invited trouble from Mr. Ribadu and his EFCC. Now, 26 years after Nuhu Ribadu had left office as chairman of the EFCC, he is back to the corridors of power and even at a more delicate position. The task before Mr. Ribadu will be to first and quickly show that his appointment was not a function of political patronage. He must understand that his words now carry very heavy weight. Unlike during the EFCC era, he indiscriminately branded unfavored politicians as corrupt. 5 of the state governors then he wore togars of corruption, including then Governor of Lagos State Bola Tinubu, whom he branded a big thief, are all top members of the APC, where Ribadu himself belongs. The National Security Advisor should work out how to tap into the professional expertise and superior operational knowledge of his colleagues and enhance healthy collaboration. And Malam Nuhu Ribadu should, in short and long term, do all he can to justify the trust reposed on him by President Tinubu in the overriding interest of the country. Uzonna Ononye, reporting for News Central.
And now to discuss the recent developments in Nigeria, we are joined by Justice Ojienoh, a lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
It's my pleasure to join you tonight.
So to start with, we have a new national security advisor in the person of Nuhu Ribadu. First of all, is the first non-military officer to take this position. We also know him as a pioneer EFCC chairman. So what would you say, what are your observations on this new appointment given to Nuhu Ribadu, looking at his predecessors and what he has done before?
Okay, I feel that he's a good fit for the office, given the fact that he actually has risen through the ranks of the Nigerian police. A lot of the issues that we're having in this, in our security is not military in nature. A lot of them are actually police in nature. So it's fantastic that a person that is within the ranks of the police that is given this opportunity. Let us also test a person from the police force. And I'm also happy with the fact that he is a person that actually had opportunities to deal with the high and powerful with respect to the EFCC office that he has held. So intimidation will not really be a big deal. So the generals that are underneath him, they will have to really take orders and directives from him because he has dealt with people who have held high offices.
I like the optimism you're saying, and I do hope that he's able to fulfill this task. And talking about appointments, it's not the only one. We've seen several appointments. And we also know of the new Inspector General of Police in the person of Kayode Egbetokun. Now, like his predecessor, he has also promised to tackle crime. In the earlier sort we saw, he talked about so much about how he will fight insecurity in Nigeria. Now, would you believe that this is just plain rhetoric? Because this is not the first time we're hearing it. Over time, when we see a new Inspector General of Police being appointed, this is the same thing we hear. So what should Nigerians make of it?
We are just praying that whatever it is that he's promising, that he can actually match it with the corresponding actions and deliverables. The last time we had a fantastic IGP is Mr. Solomon Arase. Every other person has either just been a disgrace or a placeholder that is just average, like the Baba Ahmed that just left. It is our prayer. We see his record, his resume. He has been in charge of tough squads before, like the Rapid Response Squad. And for me, if I were to choose, I would have chosen a Frank Umba over him. But he has been the Egbetokun man was CSO to the president at some point, and I feel that maybe his loyalty is being rewarded. But otherwise, whatever it is, he's the one that is giving the appointment in an acting capacity. It is my prayer that he can actually meet the requirements of the office, and he can match the lion and tiger synonyms or analogies that he's already given with the appropriate action. A lot of this is not just by talking. He is the head of an institution. He is the head of a system. So we pray that he can actually revamp the system. Because if he doesn't revamp the system, whatever high office he's sitting in, there is no impact that he can actually make.
And what do you think have been some of the challenges? We have a national security advisor, and we also know the problems that Nigeria has had. And when we talk about insecurity, what are some of the challenges, or what do you think are some of the loopholes that has not made Nigeria attain that progress that we're supposed to be seeing in the area of security?
Oh, if we check, some revelations were made by Asari Dokubo telling us that a lot of the failings in our securities is not equipment. It is the fact that persons saddled with the offices are actually probably saboteurs. And of course, he has been also called to task to come and defend whatever it is that he has said. So aside that, he's not the first person that is saying it. We've had a lot of monies put into the system, and it has not yielded any result at all. So we feel that a lot of audits should be done in our security system, in our security architecture. A lot of wastage should be plugged, and round pegs should indeed be put in round holes. Persons who are qualified, not just persons should be rewarded for whatever roles they have played in the personal or official life of a person in the past. Persons who are qualified should be put in the particular offices so that Nigerians can at least heave a sigh of relief. There has been a lot of losses to insecurity in this country. Our economy will boom if we can get this right. Now we have the NSA in place. A lot of all the heads of securities have been relieved of the appointment. Let's hope and pray that the other persons that will be put in the other heads or as the other heads of the other security outfits will not fail Nigerians.
And another issue that has been so much talked about, we talk about restructuring and state policing for the security architecture in Nigeria. Are you also of this opinion that that would be the best option?
100%. There has to be an amendment to our constitution, particularly section 214. There was a missed opportunity with the fifth alteration that just went on with our constitution. I feel I'm one of the front orators in that regard that Section 215 should be amended, not just state policing. I also advocate local policing. So we should have 3 tiers of policing because it is the people who are closest to the crimes that can see something. And it is they that have the capacity to actually give us the best details as to, okay, the kind of criminalities that is going on in their own neck of the woods. And we can see that with what the Niger Delta boys are actually doing. The Niger Delta security persons are actually doing in this regard. So if that is put in place, state policing, local policing, I am 100% confident that a lot of the insecurity issues that we have will just be killed from its root, because Abuja is too far from the nooks and crannies of Nigeria. And to be foolhardy for any person in high office to be thinking that from their high office they can be a tiger and a lion and they can chase out all criminals out of the nooks and crannies of Nigeria.
Okay, let's go back to 2020. I mean, that is still in the hearts of a lot of Nigerians, the NSAS protest. And one of the demands was looking at better remuneration, welfare packages for the officers. There was also talk about police brutality. Do you think these issues can be addressed by the new Inspector General of Police in the person of Kayode Egbetokun?
Okay, I think that the best he can do is advocate for the men within his ranks. He doesn't have the power. The Police Service Commission, even though he wields a lot of influence in the Police Service Commission, and I'm also very, very happy that it is Solomon Arase, a very, very competent person that is currently leading the Police Service Commission. That's number two. Number three is, if the president, if the political will is there to actually and indeed take care of the welfare of these police officers, I feel there will be a significant improvement in the way they deliver the services. They will not see Nigerians as animals or as an ATM machine that they have to extort in order to be able to solve the basic things that the government ought to have been able to provide for them due to substantial and appropriate welfare that to meet their needs, because they also are human beings. So we can't pay, if we pay peanuts, as you said, it is monkeys that will show up. It is monkeys that will show up. If we don't take care of them, we'll expect below par from them.
Lots of issues to be addressed there. We wish them all the best. Thank you so much, Justice Ojienoh, for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
My pleasure.